All right, LFG, Rock Team, here we go. Went ahead and let it go for a little bit, learning some lessons from the previous attempts at doing this the last few days. Now that we are just over 11 and a half days left of this series. I was just turning that up on my TV. Now, I feel like restarting just to find out if that's going to show up on the live broadcast, because I haven't done that before. Most of the time, the volume is fine, so I just go with it. I'm not going to get any commentary on me today for the most part, so we'll be real quick on this. It's mostly just going to be ripping, and then any worthwhile reactions to any major things that come from them, which isn't going to happen because it didn't happen yesterday, so shouldn't expect that. But I'm learning a lot, including like, hey, this is live, maybe don't talk for at least 90 minutes or more after the actual content of ripping the packs is done on stuff that is pointless, because I am just as tired and just as exhausted and just as out of it about as I was yesterday, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get right into this. I thought I would talk for at least, a minute, I guess a minute and a half, just to see if anybody did immediately pop into this, but nobody did. That's fine. It's more of a rebroadcast thing and really just for me to test it out. Go ahead and we're ripping 3 Extreme Evo packs. I've done this before, so if you've seen any of these, you see I go ahead and bother to show you the probabilities. And now the one thing that I would say is, after doing these and getting nothing, the expectation is that we're ripping 3 packs, so we'll get 2 Evo collectibles, and then so that we'll jump over into the trade-in to make a selection. If you read the description, I already have Hall, so I'm not going to pick him again right now. I may before this is over, but not now. And so then I'd be left with the other 5, and it'd be most interesting, I guess, for me at least, if they give me 4 out of those 5 to choose from, as opposed to a selection of 4 that includes Hall in it. But either way is fine, because if there's 4 and Hall's in there, then the forcing of a decision by me is left only really up to 3 players. And so, spoiler alert, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm probably just taking Subban, but we'll see when we get to that. And so I'm leaving this down here at the bottom, 87% Evolution collectible. Now, I'm not the only one to point this out. They like to say up there increased prospects, and a lot of people are really upset with this, but I am used to this sort of thing, so I knew that meant that they were not, which says, first of all, and it also says it's not just increased prospects, it's also up to 2 in the pack. So, you see that kind of language, it's basically saying, like, you're not going to get an evolution collectible in the evolution pack, and you should actually be expecting that based on that language. But that's not how a lot of people read it. I guess that's possibly just human nature or whatever. They see that, and they're expecting to always get at least 2, actually, if not more, which is a bit silly, because again, right there they're saying those are the probabilities. So over time, you do enough of these, that's what you should get. The only reason why I point that out is because, as briefly as I can, because I'm already 5 minutes in, this is stupid, I'm talking again, but all of these, the whole ring, etc., yada yada yada, every single pull of a pack, and then supposed to be within the pack even, are supposed to be non-interdependent actually. So meaning, technically speaking, because you have a 13% chance of not getting any Evo collectible in this the top tier Extreme Evo pack pull, then if you're if the ring gods are just not favorable to you, if your luck is just garbage, you can hit that 13% 3 times in a row, and over time you would find that it would be more in line with these probabilities and you would get them more often than that. But on a small sampling of just 3, I don't know why people seem to think that this is the way that it works, of like, oh, I didn't get one in that pack and it's 87%, so I definitely will in this next pack that I'm going to open, and then in the next one after that. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. But at the same time, it sort of does in the long run, and 3 packs is not long run. However, having said all that, the reason why I was bringing that up is because we, meaning I, for this thing that we're doing here, need 2 more, because we're at 8. So I want to have the 10 to do the top tier tonight. Obviously, I'll get to that at some point. I could do the other packs right now if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to do top tier tonight. So we're looking for basically a minimum of 2 Evo collectibles out of these 3 packs. And since it is 87%, you know, I would like to think on the positive side of that of, you know, odds are pretty decent that out of 3 packs, at least 2 of those packs should include 1 Evo collectible as sort of a minimum base. It's not a guarantee. The only guarantee here is almost technically a 77 plus player at 99%, which is still not a guarantee because unfortunately there's still 1% there that is missing. So just setting that as the expectations, we could get all the rest of this stuff. 23% for 85 plus, 2.5% for Evo player. Those things can happen. They have happened. Well, no, I haven't gotten an Evo player yet, but I've gotten an 85 plus. I've gotten some other specials, etc. I'm talking way too much. Sorry about that. But point is, I'm basically just doing this so that I get 40. So I'm getting 66 items. And 66 minus, I shouldn't do math this quickly, 66 minus 24, so whatever, 40, yeah, so 40 player, is that right? No. I don't know, I'm messing myself up there. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, but I was saying it was 40 player items, but it's 1632, and so it's 48, it's 40. Yeah, I don't know why my math is so off there, but it's 48 player items, and really only a total of 12 guaranteed NHL player items that can be at any level. They don't even have to be, you know, gold rares like people expect them to be. And again, we already talked about the increased prospects of up to 2 Evo collectibles, and that's all they list there. It's all the information you get. Again, those are probabilities. Last time we're looking at them. Promised I was going to get right into this, not do any commentary, and now I've done 8 minutes of commentary. So here we go. I'm just going to jump right in. Knock these out. Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. All right, so yeah, I guess I got an hour, another hour to wait. That sucks. Okay, well, this is live, so this is going to stay on YouTube for at least a minute or so. I guess I could just jump right out of this and immediately delete it, but that is, oh god, that is so fucking frustrating. Just because I took a lot more time with the description than I tend to do, generally speaking. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm not very good at this in general, and I haven't had much experience. But I feel as though, like, when you're doing that and you don't have like an external wireless keyboard for in this case I'm using PS4. Obviously you can play this game on Xbox as well. Oh, well, Xbox One or One X, whatever. But if you don't have the keyboard, which I would imagine if you do have the keyboard, then you would be able to do, you know, the stuff that you should be able to do almost anywhere, like copy and paste. You can have the most basic in the world phone that is probably at this point still considered technically a smartphone, and you can copy and paste on there. I understand consoles are different things, but you're going in here and doing this. I had to do the whole thing with the text, and then when it was done, you pop it up into the broadcast. I don't know. I guess I have an hour, approximately, I would guess. So maybe in that hour I could jump onto the YouTube channel and see if I could pull from there that description to, like, I don't know, but that's not really going to work, because the best I could do there is, like, I don't know, the best I could do there is probably have it next to me when I'm going to do this for real in an hour, and put in all the same words. That's so fucking frustrating. If you have a solution to that, anybody that happens to check this, what is going to be apparently a 12-minute non-video video, feel free to explain it to me, in like not a crazy way, like not something that needs like some sort of emulator or plugin or anything like that, like just the basic PS4 Pro, and connecting this to YouTube. Are there other ways to get that to go? Because a lot of the rest of the information just it repeats itself, and I don't bother to change it because I'm basically doing the same thing over and over again. So whatever. Let me know. Otherwise, we'll come back and check this. The thing that sucks, for me at least, besides the fact that I've said this in probably every single day that I've done or attempted to do these videos, is that I really feel like EA has majorly dropped the ball here. And other people are saying, hey, there's gameplay, game mechanics issues that need to be taken a hard look at, and in some cases drastically changed to keep them still interested in the game and not quitting before the first month is over. And I get that, but there's other things that, in my opinion, shouldn't be that hard to switch and adjust, which is like when you're on this screen, don't make it where I look here and it says, sure, that's the time remaining for this series, quantity remaining, no quantity limit. I wasn't the only person that the first time I did this, I was under the impression that I could get like literally as many of these as I wanted to, and I'm kind of glad, honestly, that you can't. That would just be way too much pay to play at that point, or whatever, or the other ways that you do things to get coins in the game or whatever. So I'm not mad at the fact that you can only do 3 per day. The 2 things that I'm mad at are, number one, this. So it looks like I could do this right now, but it's not until I click and do that I find out that I can't. And none of that process up to that point, and from here, there's no ticker. There's no time. And you can see right up on the top, it's telling me I've got 7 hours and 5 more minutes until I can do my free hut rewards. Now, I mean, spoiler alert, that means that I started this process of getting ready to do this video 55 minutes ago. And it automatically kind of forces you to open the daily pack when you jump into hut and you've been gone for more than 8 hours, which I was. But there's a timer there. If you're still within the same time frame after having completed a trade-in set that has limits on it, like like as an example, like the one I just did, like silver collectibles to gold collectibles, that does not have timers. There aren't any limits. I don't know, because I honestly don't think that I've even done. So now I'm talking for 15 minutes in a video that's non-existing, where I said I wasn't going to talk. Such a problem. I have not traded in 10 gold collectibles for a carbon collectible yet, so I don't know. I wouldn't know if that one is limited in any way, like if they force you to wait a day or even 8 hours or whatever to do the next one. But the player card trade-ins, which is really the main thing that I'm focusing on in trying to go through these Evo packs, is really boosting kind of the quantity and value of my gold rare player collection. Both those players that are on the team, those that are kind of reserved, as well as maybe those that might have current value that I'd like to trade, which you can see I've got 14,000 coins. Obviously, I'm not doing a lot of trading at the moment. And just, honestly, like, I could show you, and I guess I maybe will at the very end of the actual video that I'll do in an hour. There's not, there is not, I don't have any bids outstanding right now. I'm not currently actively bidding on anything, so I do not have coins out there in the marketplace. I know that's like a quote-unquote trick for those people that that are either doing these live broadcasts where, at least in my opinion, it's tough to kind of block certain things, or even the people that do the edited videos, which is probably going to be a lot more of what I'll be doing after this series ends. Outside of, I guess, maybe other pack openings that might seem to be somewhat interesting, just because, in my opinion, I feel as though, like, let's click out of this. Whether it's a gold plus, I mean, honestly, any of the pluses, but bronze plus packs are not really great. Rest of the packs basically aren't great either, and it's like, I actually, now that I said that, I think it'd be kind of funny to do some major clickbait of like, we're gonna open 1,000, like over 1,000. Would you even call this a gold pack, the contracts pack? But like, say it's gold. Say we're gonna open up 1,000 gold packs in this pack opening. Come join us at such and such a time. Like, set a date and time for people to come, and then just open 1,000 contracts packs. Because the contracts are gold, so technically it should be considered gold. But yeah, this pack is just quantity remaining, no quantity limit. Time remaining, no time limit. Gotta imagine you can just do as many, like literally as many as you as your heart desires. You just get 20 gold contracts. I haven't done it. I'm not in need of contracts, so I think that'd be kind of funny as a bit of a troll. But if you wanted to do like a real one, I don't know, man. At least for me, I feel like if it was the regular gold packs, I know I said I was joking about 1,000 contract ones, but I feel like I'd have to open like 100, say like at least 50 of these for that to be anything worthwhile. And then there you'd have to basically to not make that last. Like my last video of rambling last night did, of like 2 hours plus. Oh, it's so sad. You'd have to set it up to skip animation. You'd have to, as soon as the pack opened, you'd have to ram through from left to right to get them all to go. And then I don't know what from there, because it's live. So I mean, I guess you could just kind of do that and then go back. I don't, but that would defeat the. I don't know. Because then, like, how are you going to show any halfway decent ones? Because even if because again, you'd have to rip, in my opinion, you'd have to rip like at least like 50 of them for there to be anything halfway exciting about it, and to get like a couple of good cards outside of getting extremely lucky. And so, like, how do you do that in a short amount of time while still being able to like actually show some of what comes out of it? I don't know. That'd be interesting. And I guess you could do it with the gold plus packs as well. Which most people have determined tend to have a little bit less value. Based on both of those numbers. I mean, it's it should be 35,000 divided by 15,000, or 700 divided by 300 times better than the gold pack. But it hasn't been for me, and people doing pack openings that I've watched, doesn't seem like it's been either. So, again, with this one, I mean, technically, if you want to say it's at least twice as good as the gold pack, which, in my opinion, it's not. And I was saying, like, you might need 100 or at least 50. I guess you could maybe do a gold plus of 25 of them, which is kind of expensive, no matter how you do it, unless you just happen to have a ton of coins for any reason, which is probably not legitimate. But that's fine. I'm not hating on you. I'm just saying, like, that's what in my opinion, like, I wouldn't, now with the special packs and other stuff that's in the game, I probably wouldn't watch a current pack opening of any of these, which they're calling essentials. I just wouldn't really watch any of those unless it was what I said, like basically 25 or more of the gold plus, probably 50 or more of the gold, and then it would have to be like just crazy numbers on any of the other ones. Like just the standard bronze pack, again, that's like contract pack for me, except that they're not exactly the same, and so it's not a complete troll. But yeah, you would need like 1,000 of these to get me to potentially watch, and even then I'm probably just gonna watch the rebroadcast and kind of fast forward through as best I can to see, what the actual results were, as opposed to listening to you be ridiculous about suggesting that you're excited about anything that came out of that. Even though, as I said last night, I did see at least once. Don't know if it was faked because it was an edited video as opposed to a live one, which is why I do this live, so people know that none of this is staged. When I pulled the Crosby out of the first Extreme Evolution pack that I pulled 2 days ago now, video's still up, at least for me. So I would assume it's still up on the channel, and it's early on. It was the 4th card in the pack, and I did talk way more than I should have before opening them. Less than I did today, though, honestly. Or I'm sorry, I talked less before trying to open the pack today than I did that day. And yeah, it was Crosby. And I was saying, that I had seen people. Granted, it was at the beginning of the release of the game. It was probably during the early access for EA access players on Xbox. Just pause and drink my water, because what does it matter? This is not even an actual video. And I've only seen it once, even again from an edited video, and it was very early on, etc., etc. But I saw somebody pull a Crosby, and yeah, it's only a regular Crosby because that's all that's there now, despite the tease of the Gatorade Crosby. Let's go ahead and show you this as I sign off of this. If you're like, what is he talking about? I am talking about that. Nope. Okay, the last one. I think they moved it on me. In '89, Gatorade Crosby. I don't know how else you would read that. But the thing is that I guess that either is coming later, or that is coming with. I was originally assuming it would come with the completion of all of these sets. Based on the description, perhaps it's coming from competitive seasons, which admittedly I'm not doing a ton of. I'm not doing any of, actually, right now. So I wouldn't know that. Feel free to tell me if it is. Or, I don't know. I mean, is Gatorade just this year's current sponsor, and this is a normal thing that they do, or is Gatorade, have they been doing Gatorade specifically for years now? This is my first year. I don't know these things, and so these are all of them currently, and you gotta play games, specific Gatorade Hut Challenge games to get them, to get the loan players, which you then can add with one Gatorade collectible, or as you move further along, like there, you need 2 collectibles, and on and on and on, and the last one you need 9 collectibles. If you want the highest overall rated, which is the 84 overall Vincent Truex. So, is it so if you do all of these here from Truex down to Chad Johnson, which I think is like the only one that I have, then at that point, do you get the Crosby? I wouldn't think that. But then, like, is it going to be a thing where this is saying, so that's seconds, minutes, hours, days, right? So 22. Am I reading that right? 20. Yeah. Okay. Well, the top thing is there saying more, but 23 days left for this. So I don't know. Because basically this is what it is, right? So it's 78 Johnson, moves up to 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, and then ends at 84. And there's not that many of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's not a lot. So that would seem strange to me, even though that is a fair amount of collectibles. Let's go ahead and count those as well. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, 13. Sorry, I'm looking up at the top there. Yeah, so 15. Sorry. What did I say? Was it 9, 13? I'm not this bad at math. I'm just bad at paying attention. So 18 total, and then that's 25, and then another 9, so 30, 34 Gatorade collectibles would be required along with the loan items. So yeah, that's a little bit of a grind, I guess. I don't know. So if you do that, do you then get, going back over to it, what was the whole point? What were we talking about? We were going to go the other way this time. Talking about that, the 89 Gatorade Crosby. Halfway tempted, but I don't want to take any more time out of this right now. Halfway tempted to go over to the auction house and see if anybody is selling this this Gatorade Crosby right now, because I think, yeah, because the be nice if this thing didn't super delay when you're broadcasting. So yeah, the jeez, the evolution hut challenges. That's what they're called, right? Yeah. So these are basically every day, right? I shouldn't do this live. I'm showing everyone how terrible I am at this. No, okay, no, it's simply that you got to pass that, and I've had that timer run out on me, and then it just resets. So I feel like I don't know what the deal is with that, honestly. Because obviously I've passed a full one before, I think, right? Isn't that what? I don't know. I felt like I did. I don't know why I can't like kind of go back and look. But my team plus me sucking, plus AIOP means I'm not, even this not good team that you'd be up against, I'm not winning by 3 goals with 2 minutes of time on attack in a 6-minute match, with a passing percentage of at least 75%. The bottom one, passing percentage of at least 75%. Not trying to nerf it and just complete one pass and then just let the thing sit, which I may do at some point just to get the objective, just to see if it'll let me move on to the next one, so that I would know this in the future when trying to talk about it, because I don't know why I keep talking about things that I know nothing about. So I may just do that, because you totally can do that. And I suppose if you're good about being able to maintain possession in the offensive third of the on the ice, then perhaps you can kind of try to, I don't think that would technically be considered nerfing, but try to nerf like the 2 minutes of time on attack thing as well, and just kind of maintain possession. Try to stay away as much as possible, even though they both block passing lanes, block you, being able to charge at the net, block you being able to pass into the slot, as well as honestly block passes on the edges, even back to your defenders that are still in the attacking third. So at least for me, I could probably do that if that was my only attempt at something. So, it's not happening in the next 13 hours, but and I don't know why in the world I'm making this a half an hour now, but yeah, I think I could potentially do that. I could first nerf that to 75%. That's not hard at all. You just automatically know you're going to lose the game. In my opinion, you should probably put like your worst players, especially ones that you're going to trade in soon, onto the team, and find a way to complete a pass, and then literally don't touch anything. Because I know for me, I've tried this challenge at least twice that I can recall, and I wasn't going to get all 3. I was up by 2 goals, and I wasn't close enough on the time of attack, unless it was maybe to go into overtime and last for more than the 5 seconds that overtime tends to last. And I was enough above 75%, and it wasn't it wasn't as though I completed 3 out of 4 passes. The sample size was decent enough, but it just wasn't quite there. It was whatever it was, somewhere between 75 and say like 81%, and then but I was still trying to get that third goal, so that I at least have 2 of the objectives done. And in the process of trying to do that, I don't remember the sequence of order of fuck ups, but one was I was actually on defense and was trying to switch my player, basically just because what tends to happen with me, because I'm terrible at it. I was trying to get back with the player that I had, and he basically just got caught behind a non-puck possessing player on the other. It was like I couldn't get there, I couldn't get around, so I just went to switch, and I wasn't using advanced controls. I wanted to do it quickly. I just hit X to switch to the computer selected player, which tends to be the one either closest to the puck, the one furthest back, whatever it is. And I guess I just, in like the millisecond that was happening before I hit the X button, the AI computer on my team happened to dispossess the puck carrier, which great. I'm not usually going to be mad at that. However, the problem is it happened basically as I was pressing the X button to select that player, or any other player in that area, and so the game processed it as my guy not being controlled by me at the time, having dispossessed the puck and gotten it into his possession, and then me hitting the X button. So it just was like boom, boom, and it just shot the puck out straight ahead of wherever he was. And I don't remember if that meant that it went straight to the boards, or I think more likely that it went down the ice, so that means that it was probably icing. And then just to annoy me even more, it was probably an icing call that became icing before the AI computing defense even got there, and I probably knew I needed that to not be counted as a bad pass, and so I tried to select the person closest to the puck again, and then sprint there to get there, and I did, and I basically did get to the puck, and it was still an icing call, if I'm remembering it correctly, because I know that particular thing has happened to be fairly often, and in this particular challenge, it happened at least once in one game, and it might have actually happened more than once towards the throughout the whole game, but it happened once at the end when I was already at the 75%, and if I wanted to just have that, I what I should have done, and to have this one objective, and yeah, it's only 500 coins, but whatever. I should have just put the controller down, just taken, and then was up by 2 goals, but probably would have ended up losing. Literally not touch anything, and then just hope that the game and the developers wouldn't completely screw me over by counting something as a pass when I'm literally not even touching the controller or playing at all. So yeah, that happened, and then I had, and then as I said, I was trying to get that third goal, and had an opportunity where somebody was coming at my puck carrier, but wasn't in my opinion, wasn't really right on me yet, and I had a guy open, not like an automatic. Okay, I'm gonna get a perfect one timer here. There wasn't a ton of space in the net open either, but it was just a standard, in my opinion, thing that I should be doing automatically, and I saw no reason not to try to go for it, especially again trying to get that last goal, and The guy coming at me got to me real quick, and then another guy that like wasn't even on the screen when that was happening, like suddenly got into the play as well, and stole the pass. With the fantastic EA coaching whatever, feedback going red and being like, bad pass, shitty pass, you're a shit passer. It's like, no, yes, I'm terrible at the game, but that was a gimme, at least as far as like, yeah, I should attempt this pass and see what I can do with it. Even if that would have meant that maybe that mysterious guy that managed to get there and steal a pass would have gotten there to be able to probably block if I would have tried to shoot or done anything else, move around a bit, try to find another pass to somebody else or whatever, as opposed to shooting. That could have maybe ended up happening, but it wouldn't. None of those other things, except I guess maybe trying that second pass and having the second pass not work, none of those would have affected the passing percentage. And it wasn't just those two; it was a series of like 4 or 5. Because as I said, my percentage was decent. I thought it was basically a lock at that point. I was going for the win by 3, and desperately trying for the time on attack, but didn't think that was very likely. And yeah, in that process, and just had like, I don't even remember, but was it more than 2? So it was at least 3, probably more than 4 or 5, maybe even 6. Like bad passes, all in the third period, probably all in the last minute, at least the last like 90 seconds. I know they only last for 2 minutes, but basically the end of the game just had more of those than I should have, tossed in with maybe 1 or 2 that were good and on point, and I finished with a 74.8, I think. I mean, it was definitely 74 or higher. So, and I think it was to the point where it was, whatever it was, I know I missed it by basically a pass. So you take any one of those last 5 that I felt like should not have happened, then it wouldn't have happened. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh, it sucks that these are live and I can't like edit out the last 20 minutes of this. So it's there. Let's just go out, close this out. So I will come back soon, because I actually might be able to do this as of right now. I know I said it'd be an hour, but I will absolutely be able to do this within another hour from now. But the problem is I can't really. I don't know if I got the full point across. I don't think I did, even though I talked for 25 minutes when starting my point. I don't think I got the point across about how I feel as though EA should put up timers so that you know how much longer you have to wait until it's available for you to go ahead and make the purchase. And it's not just that. There are other aspects of the game that are time based as well that don't have an actual timer on it. I don't know. I would like to see that changed. It would stop fucking horrendously shitty, live broadcast attempts that aren't actual broadcasts like this one from happening, at least by idiots like me. And the other thing is too, along with the timer of indicating how much longer you have to wait, if it's just a timer that shows you when you have to wait, that either shows zeros when it ends or just goes away when it's over, that means when you're on the screen as you see it today right now, as I was just on it, where there is no timer there, then you would know automatically, okay, the timer has elapsed. I can go ahead and do this right now. Whereas like right now, as I said, I legit don't know if I can open these packs. So yeah, I'm going to stop this broadcast and I'm going to finally stop talking right now to the no one that is listening and to the no one that is going to listen to the rebroadcast, because I'm not even going to listen to it and I will delete it very soon. But so I don't know why I didn't even make a final point, but I would say, like, even if I stop it right now and then I come right back into the game right now, or in like 10-15 minutes or whatever, if I go in and try to see if I can go ahead and do the pack opening. There's no way for me to do that without doing it and having it say no the way that it did just now. If you follow what I'm trying to say there, like if I go in right now and I'm not broadcasting, but I want to do a live broadcast so that again you can see that none of this is being staged and that it definitely is a live broadcast, on the off chance that I do actually get what I would consider to be an actual good card, because there's so few of them left in the game, that if I did that and I wasn't broadcasting and it did work, now all of a sudden it just suddenly is opening the pack. So that would be another thing that they could potentially do, is make it like the other packs. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like the weeklies, which I think for most people is two weekly gold hut packs that came out, what was yesterday at this point now, because now it's Tuesday morning. You can, when you get into it and you click it, I'm pretty sure the two options are open now or open later. I don't think there's another option besides that. And I've never really done the open later thing. I guess it would just go right back into your either go back into the unopened packs thing or right above it in the inbox. Either way, I think is totally fine. So it doesn't seem to me like it would be that hard of a thing to do with this either. And I would totally do that for the purposes of live broadcasting to make this easier. Is go ahead and quote unquote pay, whether with coins or NHL points, for the packs, and then select open later, and then have however many I want to open, like in this case 3 for the max on the day, or make it even more interesting, because 3 isn't that interesting, honestly. And this is going on for another 11 plus days. So over the next 10 days, even if you want to keep it at the max of 3 per day that you can open, let us do open later. So go ahead and pay for them however we want to, and then go ahead and put them into open later, and put them into wherever they got to go, into unopened packs or into the inbox or whatever. Both options are fine with me. So that when we go into the broadcast, we can go into that section where the packs are listed and just rip through them right away. I don't know. That would be another way to make it a little bit better than this, which is attempting to broadcast and not even being able to open anything, because you don't know the time on the timer, which I really feel like has to be done now that I'm basically an hour into this fake broadcast, the unintended fake broadcast, so just do the timer, the open now, open later, whatever. Is just an extra suggestion, just in case that's easier from a coding perspective. Just put up a timer. Problem solved. Because you're going to do more than these. It's not like after Evo packs end in 11 days that for the next year there's going to be nothing special available in the Hut store. There was special packs there before Evo. They'll be there again. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't think so, though. I think other people are frustrated by this too. And what I will end with is, I said it already, so I will say it again. For those people that are, all pissy about how certain things got changed in the last patch, including changes to the auction house that they felt like were either not necessary at all, or were certainly less important than correcting game mechanics and gameplay issues, or the corrections that they did make, which we'll put corrections in this case in quotes, to some of the gameplay stuff, as far as poke checking, where it kind of, according to them, allowed spam to come back. That's not been my experience, but I trust the people that are saying that is a problem. And so, yeah, to those people, I will placate them by saying, fine, maybe that's more important than this, than putting a timer up on people that want to get these packs, regardless of how they're getting them. Coins or NHL points appear to be the only two ways that I know of to do it legitimately right now. And even the coins technically aren't really a guaranteed legitimacy anyways. But it is what it is. Something that I would like to see. No, I don't expect that to happen in the next 11 days, because I also don't expect to get EA's attention in the next 11 days, if at all, during the course of this year. Even if for some stupid reason this mostly fake, non-published, but technically public channel that I've got here, like suddenly has 10K plus subscribers, as a lot of the NHL YouTubers have, then maybe at that point, then I would be able to say something and have somebody from EA at least have them find out that someone, whether it was me or anybody else, had said that. But there are definitely certain people that are trying to do that, trying to do call to actions directly to EA through their channel, and in some cases it seems like maybe they are, basically even just like sponsored by EA. They're maybe getting free packs or whatever, and yet it seems as though they still feel like they have to talk through their subscriber base and through their would-be audience to try to get more than just them using their voice to get EA to notice certain things that they think need to get switched. But EA is a company, it's a business, they get to make their own decisions for the most part. Publicly traded company though, so they got to answer to the board and they got to answer to their shareholders. So if you are a player of this game and you are an EA shareholder, then technically you do have a little bit more say than just being simply a player of the game. However, as somebody trolled EA with the quick little flash of the charts of their of their stock, and I didn't look at it in detail, so I don't know what the duration on that chart was, if it was 2 years or just a year or whatever, but it had a peak and then it had a fall off, and that was what they were trying to joke around about. So all I'm saying there, I guess, is that yes, if you are an EA shareholder and a player of the game, then you have more of a say than just a player of the game, and also technically, if you're just an EA shareholder and not a player of the game, you technically also have more of a say than just being an EA player, than just being a player of the game, as far as any company would consider it, and EA is no exception to that. But doesn't matter. And this is good. This is going away. This is not going to. It's not going to self-destruct, but it's not going to exist within more than 24 hours. So with that, I'll sign off, and I don't know. I'll give it more than 10 minutes. I'll do some other things, and I'll come back in probably about 20 minutes and try this again. But I'm probably not going to do the whole long description again. And I won't talk, like, basically almost at all. I'm not going to say what we're going to do. I'll have the mic here, just in case I get nuts with a crazy poll. But I don't know what my crazy poll could be. As far as Evo players in packs, it's got to be John Tavares. As far as base players, it's got to be Ovi. Maybe McDavid. I don't have either of those two, so I could maybe get excited about McDavid as well. Anything else? I don't know. Probably not. Except for maybe like no, I don't know. I was gonna say like a 90 overall alumni. But like if I got the 90 overall alumni goalie, sorry that I'm forgetting your name right now, dude, but he's not upgradable. He doesn't get converted into a legend currently. I don't know if that changes later. Seems more of a one-off. So yeah, I don't have a ton of 90 overall players on my team, and I do have my goalie is pretty close to that. And no, he's not Carey I do have Carey Price, but my number one goalie is not Carey Price, and he is close to 90 overall. The goalie that I have. However, yeah, if I got that 90 overall alumni, I don't know. I guess I'd have to check the market to see if there's any value for that particular card, as opposed to every other card that has basically no value. And I'd be happier to get it than I guess a card that, I don't know, has less value. I don't know, but that'd be about it. So I just wouldn't. I can't see off the top of my head getting many potential alumni's. That's not the correct term, by the way. It's alumni, spelled differently, AE as opposed to I. Such a nerd. Yeah, so I can't foresee getting any of those and getting super hyped about it either. I don't know though. Now that I said that, when I come back into this, which I could probably again do now because I've talked for a fucking hour, go ahead and give me the base Brett Hull. I don't even know what it starts at. What does it start at? 85. I've seen 88s on the market. Is that the second level? That's not the legend. Legend's got to be 90 plus, right? I think it's higher than that. The legend at least. And you can't pull legends in packs in general, and especially in the Evo pack. As far as I know, I've never done it. I've never seen anybody do it. It would seem to be counterintuitive based on how the game works and what they're trying to make you do, because it's a fucking grind and takes forever to get a player up to legend. Now, if you're basically willing to, again, not really technically nerf it, but buy the tier just below the legend player, and then buy whatever the fucking collectibles are that are required to add to that, which, spoiler alert, you're also going to need the base level card for that player too if you don't have it. So in that case, if you have neither of those two cards, you're going to have to go ahead and buy both of them. So, like, I don't know, you might have to buy an 82 and an 88, or 82 and then, I don't know, 89, 90. I don't know how high the second to last tier below legend go. And then the collectibles. But honestly, a lot of those that are worthwhile, you're going to have to do carbons. That's also a fucking grind. Or just a lot of coins. Like, more coins than I think that they should be going for. But based on even where the market has gone, which is significantly lower than it was before, for the things that you can get to bring those, to get those up, collectibles as well as technically players, once you get them all the way to gold rare. Yeah, again, just I'm not on that screen. I know it's 10 gold collectibles for a carbon. I think it's 5 silvers for gold. I think it should be 5 browns for a silver. So fuck it, I don't know. I mean, if the bronze collectibles, if the market got flooded with them and there were a shit ton of them, then yeah, now you're gonna make me do quick math again here, and I should have a calculator for this one because I'm gonna mess it up. But so every silver is 5 bronze, every gold is 5 silver, so every gold is 25 bronze, and every carbon is 10 gold. So every carbon is, am I doing that math correctly? 250. Every carbon is 250 bronze, and in some cases, what was most that I saw? I know for a lot of them you need at least 2. Some of them you need even 2 just for the first fucking tier, the first level. So I don't know. For the really good ones that you might want, you might need like, I hope to God there aren't ones that you need like 9 carbons for. But let's go conservative and say you need 5 of them. What did I say? It's 250. So yeah. So now you need 1,250 bronze collectibles, or the equivalent of those, to get 5 carbons. So yeah, in that sense, you look at how much bronze collectibles or the equivalents to build up to them are. It makes sense that despite the fact that they aren't really that valuable as far as intrinsic value goes, when it comes down to trade-in value and comparing it to how much carbon collectibles are being offered for, but the trick is not necessarily being actually bought for on the market, then from that standpoint alone, it sort of makes sense why some of these things are a little bit overpriced, in my opinion. The bronze collectibles, the silver collectibles, the gold collectibles for sure. Now the Evo collectibles seem like they're a little bit higher priced than they should be, even though that's a different category and is its own thing and is going to end in 11 days. So yeah, whatever. And then obviously it's kind of everything that leads up to that as well, because of the trade-ins. Even though the player trade-ins all have limits on them, so you can't just do it constantly. If for some reason, like I was saying, that the market would be flooded with bronze collectibles, it's not like the market could get flooded with bronze players and you can suddenly just do basically like a billion bronze player for silver common trade-ins, and then all the way up to gold rares, and then is it 10 gold rares for a gold collectible? Is it only 5? I don't know. It's one or the other. It's 5 or 10. So even if it's only 5, that's still a lot that you have to do to get enough gold collectibles, to get enough carbon collectibles, just to get your legend. So I think the point that I was trying to make there, as if I ever actually have like an actual point and that it's legitimate and it'd actually be worth saying out loud, is just that it's a grind, and it's not easy to do. Even if you have a ton of coins and can quote unquote afford to overpay for any of the components, because there usually aren't even enough carbon collectibles on the market for you to be able to buy all of them that are out there, as well as the alumni card that you're looking to upgrade to a legend if you don't have it. That's a large expenditure. So the point is, it's a process to do, and so as I said, it's counterintuitive. It doesn't really make sense based on all of that they would then make it that, okay, you did this Evo pack, which it's, depending on how you look at it, if you want to convert it to US dollars, it's basically like a $15 dollar pack, or I guess maybe 20. No, it's 15. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's more than $10, right? Which for some people seems like a lot, especially because as I've shown in the last 3-4 days, and I'm going to show again in the next hour when this is a real broadcast, you don't really get a lot in the packs, so they're not really good ROI. They're not really good value for what they would cost if you bought them, however you bought them. And so I guess because of that, it would just seem strange that they would drop a legend in there. I mean, even if it's, the Evo player cards, there's only 5 of them currently. I don't know if that will change in these packs right now, with, again, John Tavares 85 being the best one as far as overall rating is concerned. There are only 5 of them, and as I showed at the very beginning when this was an attempt at an actual broadcast and not this fucking shit show that it is right now, it's like it's like 2.9% at most percent per pack that you can get one of those, and I've gotten none so far from the packs, and so yeah, and those are 80 to 85, and yes, they are Evos, and so in my opinion, I would value them a little bit more, obviously, than I would their base cards, and I would value them more than any other card that really can't be upgraded, that's also in that range. And therefore, I mean, quite frankly, I wish I knew the dude's name, the 90 overall alumni goalie, who's the highest overall rated new alumni of this week, assuming that hasn't changed since I looked at it yesterday. Um, I would much rather have probably honestly almost any Evo card than that 90 overall alumni goalie, and not just because he's a goalie, and not just because his card and his stats that I'd be looking for from a potential goalie aren't the greatest. It's not that. It's just that it's fixed. It's static. It's not dynamic. It's never changing currently. Maybe they will change that later. And that was a question that I was asking the people that aren't listening and the potential audience that's not there. Is that, does anybody know for sure, or based on previous experience in this game, is there an expectation that would change? That the limited number of alumni to legend trade-in sets that are there, are they going to buff that up and include the other alumni players that have come out since then, which is like, I think they're listing 5 this week, which suggests that there were 5 last week, and I don't know if I think we're 3 weeks in, so I don't know if there have been 3 weeks of that now or not. So it's at most 15 other players, but I don't think so, just because, again, that whole process, etc., it's leading to, technically it could lead to both, but who is going to be able to do that in a short amount of time? It's, you're looking to get 45 legend collectibles to then be able to choose between a 99 overall Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux, and that's the ultimate goal. I mean, those are the best cards. I mean, I've been told Team of the Year cards are also going to be 99, and so any of these Evo players get a Team of the Year, then the Evo card will be 99 as well. So if that holds true, there will be other 99 cards in the game at some point, but supposedly not as ridiculous as it was in past years, where it wasn't just Crosby, Ovi, etc. that had 99s. It was, it was Scott Darling. No offense, Scott, but I don't think that I don't know how your non-base card got bumped up to last year. But and I'm not saying you're a bad player. I'm not saying you're a bad goalie. I'm not saying you had a bad year last year or any time that you played on the Hawks. But I don't know if many people would consider you to be a 99 overall rated player in the actual hockey league, and therefore, would you have deserved to have been a 99 overall in any version of this game in previous years? Debatable, I suppose. I'm going to go with no, though. And so I've just been told that it was ridiculous, that there were just way too many cards, like that. There are way too many that even just started at the beginning of the year at base at 90, and so people were glad that changed this year. But yeah, you had that to start with, and then so it was like, if your whole team, even if you were free to play and weren't even that good at the game, but did a decent amount of grinding and maybe a little bit of flipping, your entire team, at a minimum, 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, 2 goalies. I don't know, your head coach. They don't have numbers on them this year. Did they before? I don't know. All of those. So you're. Pardon me. Your 18. Your 18 players on your team were all 99 rated. And then your backups that weren't even on the team were 99 rated as well. And so then I guess you could make certain adjustments for matchups or some shit. I don't know. But it's not like, it's not like I don't know, like baseball, or I mean, I'm not going to use basketball as an example because that's way more obvious, because you can only you put 5 on the floor at a time, and you obviously are going to generally have more players than that on the team, I guess, unless you're the Gene Hackman's Hoosiers, might be down to just 5 per game at that point. But yeah, and then obviously football and other things as well are a little bit different in that sense, where you have players that are subs. They're dressed. They're just not starters. They get into the game. But yeah, you're not really doing that here in Hut. You know, you pick your lineup, and it's 18 players and it's 18 it's 18 players and 2 goalies. So yeah, I don't know why I was getting that wrong. But so 20. God, that's such an obvious thing. I don't know why I was thinking that it was off a little bit. So 20 of those and a head coach is what you choose. And I'm not trying to suggest I'm not trying to suggest that you should be able to be like the other EA game, like FIFA, have other people dress and be subs, so that when you inevitably play online and your player gets injured, they're done for that game. They don't get to come back in that game, which I think is how it should be. Injuries happen, right? You should have to heal them, or have them sit out for however many games before they are healed or whatever. And that makes sense. However, would it also be helpful, I guess, if when that happens? Because I know for a fact I've had at least 3 guys go down in a single game, and so you're talking about you just dropped 3 out of your 18, so that's you're basically it's 1/6 of your team. Pardon me. So yeah, again, 15% of your team is just gone, and if you lose 3 defensemen, you're now playing with 3 defensemen for the rest of the game. That can be kind of tough. And and especially if you're playing online, you get 1 pause. I guess you could maybe manage your team between periods, but because of that 1 pause and the fact that it lasts for 20 seconds or something, and I don't know if I haven't found a way to adjust lineup settings at all during a game, even within the confines of, okay, pick a lineup that you want to have players playing in the game, and that's your lineup, and then you're good to go, and then you go. Fine, sure, but then let's say something gets switched and you want to be able to adjust your one of your special teams lineups, move somebody from the second line to the first line on the penalty kill. Your top defenseman got injured. You want to now choose who's going to be on that front line defense, as opposed to having the game automatically select for you. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think that's a requirement. I'm not. This is again not a call to action. I'm just babbling at this point, honestly, because I'm mostly wasting time, just so that when I go back to this, it actually works. Because I don't feel like wasting another live broadcast, because I'm not going to bother putting in a long description this time again. I might do the fake auto text tags, just because that's a fun little, not a full-on troll, but a fun little thing that I do. So yeah, and then I'm probably just not going to talk either. So I'm getting all of my talking out now, which is mostly about bullshit and nonsensical, rambling, tangential, 1000% unimportant shit, really. As I just watch the clock as it gets closer and closer to the time where I know that it'll go. But probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have tried this a half an hour ago, so that I wouldn't have to wait until this time tomorrow to do this again. And honestly, I probably won't. I think when I do this, probably the next 20 minutes, I think that'll be it for me, for at least a day. I won't come back. I won't come back early Wednesday morning and do it again. I'll give it a little bit of a break, and so I won't have that timer concern. That's my expectation. So with that, I will say peace out. Go fuck yourself. And if you're hearing this and you got to this point by not fast forwarding, why? Why did you do that? I'm not even going to listen to the first minute of this thing. And I'm also deleting it very soon. So if you're hearing this, feel free to leave a comment on the channel, because the video itself will be deleted, and let me know. Maybe I should do like a Easter egg giveaway. NHL 19 related. I don't know what that could be. Maybe I can offer coins. Maybe I could say, like, I'd give away a massive 200 coins to the first person to comment in the channel, anywhere in the channel, making sure they get my attention and putting on the hashtag with the timestamp, so I can see who the first person is that does it, indicating that, basically just saying, hey, I heard the 1 hour in Easter egg, give me my 200 coins. I will absolutely give that person 200 coins, assuming that's the thing I can do, which I believe I can do to anybody that plays on PlayStation. But yeah, I'm basically just doing that because that's a little bit of a troll for me, just on the fact that you can get 200 coins almost every single day, even if you don't actually play the game, by just going into the game and watching a promotional ad, which is currently Wednesday Night Hockey for, I guess I should look again at the date. So I guess they could potentially be talking about a matchup tomorrow, but I could have sworn that I saw the exact same ad being broadcast by them last week, and I've seen the ad now like 4 or 5 times or more, and the way it was worded, it definitely was making it sound as though it was. Yeah, I mean, that had to have been last week's game, because they were saying it was not just that it was Bruins Capitals, which is in Washington, which I could look up right now and see if they played that day, and I'm almost 100% certain that they did, without having seen the schedule or whatever, just because of the way it's worded in the ad of how that was going to be, the Boston coming into town for the first time, Washington getting a chance to raise their Stanley Cup or whatever. So you do that in your first home game, and I know there haven't been that many games. I don't think anybody's played more than 6, more than 5 so far. In some cases, I think as of yesterday, I think some people are in their second or third game. Yesterday being well, fucking, I don't even know anymore at this point if I'm talking about Monday or Sunday. But point is, yeah, I think that was last week's game. And so yeah, I was trying to troll, and then I ended up trolling myself, because I actually don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to this game, this video game, or the actual game that it's based off of as a sports sim of hockey. But I would imagine that game has already happened, and so you're watching an ad, which I guess is still promotional for hockey in general and for the Wednesday Night Hockey series, specifically on NBCSN. But it is promoting a game that has already occurred. And you get 200, or if you're lucky, 400 coins that day for having watched it twice for about 5 seconds. So that was the intended troll of me saying, if you get the Easter egg, comment on the channel and not the video, because the video will be gone. Saying that you caught the 1 hour in Easter egg promotional giveaway, and give me my 200 coins, and I will. But yeah, I trolled myself because I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna stop this now. Peace out, and again, go fuck yourself. Have a good time.